Hi everyone. Thank you very much for being here. I'm really excited about today's episode. Thank you for being here. My name is Bolanle Daniel Enang. You can call me that. I love that party. But typically I go by Bolanle Enang. I am a family life enthusiast and I'm excited to be here. Look, today's topic is something that is really important. It says, this is my topic today: how to listen to your children or your child so they can listen to you. Simple, right? But sometimes it's not that simple. So before I get right onto it, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you for taking out time to be here. I know that many times as parents we're very busy. There's so much going on in our lives, and sometimes we're not sure whether this is important. But for those who are here, who will watch live, who will share, who will listen to it at any time of your day, in your week, thank you. Thank you for making the investment. I always talk about investments when it comes to parenting. I think that the idea of being a parent and investing on your child's life, the life that they live, the quality of your family's life is very critical. It's very important, and I'm really thankful for every single parent who makes out time to want to learn and to want to grow. So thank you for being here. Like I said earlier, I'm Bonali and I listen. I am a family life enthusiast. And what that means is that I go around finding, looking for, checking out what is it that people can do to make their lives better, the quality of their lives stronger, better, easier. I believe that, look, we all know this, right? I hope you do, that the family is the smallest part of society. And if we do well with each family, society becomes stronger. So it's almost as though the societies are strong as the weakest family. And I know that many people say, but nobody tells us about parenting. Nobody tells me how to do this. So, Bola, what if I make mistakes? Oh, girl, daddy, mommy, granny, listen, that's okay. Many of us make the same mistakes, and that's fine. But you know what is not fine? Is when you stay with your mistake and you think, oh, there's nothing I can do about this. That is not true. There's a lot you can do, and part of it is being here. So thank you for being here. So hi King D, thanks for being here. God bless you. All right, I've got a book in my hands. I know. Listen, this book. Today I was, thinking about, reflecting about today's topic, which is listening, and I know I had this book, and I was really looking for it in my library, and then I opened it, and once again I realized, no wonder I read this book once and it really changed my life. If you've never seen this book before, if you can get it, I don't know where you can, please look for it. It's called The Key to Your Child's Heart. It's by Gary Smalley. Amazing book. Trust me. Believe me when I tell you it's amazing. I read widely. I'm a bookie. This is an amazing book. It will change your life. So why listening? So let's start this way, because I'm going to read a portion of this book to you. Actually, I decided, instead of just paraphrasing, I'm going to read the entire 2 pages in this small book of listening to your child and what it means. Now, some of you can say to me, Bola, but I don't have a child. You've got friends, you're married or you're not married, you're a brother or a sister to somebody, you're an auntie to someone, an uncle to someone, or a grandparent, or you're a colleague at work. This will work in any relationship. I'm just particularly linking it to parenting and family life. You see what I'm saying? But I want to encourage you to use what you're going to hear today. Use it at work tomorrow. Use it at school. Use it at church. Use it with your neighbors. It's an amazing tool. Listening is amazing. Somebody says, no wonder God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen more and talk less. good thinking, don't you think? I think so too. Thank you for everyone who's joined on Instagram. Thank you for being here. And those who are watching on live on Facebook and on YouTube, I really want to thank you. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so and share. You see, for me, it's about sharing with friends and family. That's the big deal. That really is the big deal for me. And not just sharing, but that we use them. So, what does it mean to listen? These 2 ears that we have, parents, moms and dads, aunties and uncles, hello. These 2 ears can do a lot for your family. Children, can I tell you, many children feel like they're not heard. I know that recently there's been a lot of stories about so much going on in people's family lives. In Nigeria, there's this talk about the sexual encounters of young children in a certain school, in a certain high school, and it sparked a lot of debates. And so many people are asking, whose job is it? Whose job is it? Whose fault is it? Is it the fault of mommy and daddy? Is it the fault of the school? Why did they do the right thing? I hear you. Honestly, I do. Can I tell you whose job it is? It's a collective effort. If you've heard that phrase before, it takes a village to raise a child. It's a fact. Nobody can do this on their own. So I want to encourage you, whether you're the auntie or the teacher or the friend or whoever you are in this ecosystem of society, you have a lot to do. There's a role for you to play. And one of the ways that your child can listen to you is when you and I learn how to effectively listen. Listen. How to listen. Listening is key. So what do I mean? A lot of people think that because you're standing there and you're saying, Have you ever been on the phone before and somebody's talking to you? Well, I feel that way. I know when someone isn't listening to me because I can say something profound or something, big or even small, and they just keep going, I can sense that they're actually not listening to me. Parents, children are worse in a good way. They know when we're not listening to them. So the first thing I want you to do is make up your mind today. I'm going to be that parent that will listen more and talk a bit less. Now, there are many ways to listen. So that's one of the things we're going to talk about today. But I want to lay the premise of the importance of actually listening. Listening, when you listen to a person, you validate their person. You validate their existence. You validate who they are by actually properly listening to them. Haven't you felt this way sometimes, wives or husbands? You're talking to your spouse about something and they're really not listening to you. You can't see, this guy is not listening to me. This person is not listening. I want to tell you that when you listen to someone, you really hear not just what they're saying, you hear them. You don't just listen for the words, you listen to really hear what this person is on about. So listening validates a person. For children, listening communicates to them that they matter, that they mean something, that they are important. So, my cell phone, I'm using it. So assuming this is a cell phone and your child is talking to you, like, okay, yes, okay, no, I hear what you're saying, but you don't hear. And that child can feel that you are not hearing. Don't deceive yourself. One of the great ways to listen to people is to actually stop. Turn to them. Say, okay, let me hear you. That's key. So let's go to what Gary Smalley says. Listen, in this chapter of the book, it's talking about expressing love and support. The most important aspect of raising children. The most important. And it's so true. But it's listed a number of things. Some of those things I'll talk about as the weeks go on. I hope you're thinking about the questions you want to ask me. And and you are thinking of sharing this with other people, because I think that these are tools that are good for all of us, whether we're parents, we're friends, wherever we are on the spectrum of life. This listening skill is critical. Very good. All right. Ready? Listening in an understanding way. How beautiful. He says that the six aspects, because we're talking about ways of listening, of communicating love. So for him here, the sixth aspect of communicating love to our children is listening in an understanding way. I'm going to go through this for you because I think if you don't have this book, this would work for you beautifully. Listening is one skill that many people take for granted. However, I believe listening is so important that I recommend parents purchase a book or enroll in a course on how to listen. I'll put that up very soon. However, I believe listening does not come naturally. Most adults are preoccupied with their own needs and problems, and therefore have a tendency not to listen carefully to those around them. By not noticing the needs of others, we can communicate we're not interested in them. There are several important points to remember about being an effective listener with our children. I thought I'm going to read this to you. Okay? 1. A good listener desires eye contact with the speaker. That means stopping our activities, putting the newspaper down, turning the television off, giving our undivided attention. Switch off the cell phone. Just stop. Pause it. The phone call may not be that important, so listen to your child. A good listener, number 2, never assumes that he knows what the other person is saying. It says, I reacted to something one of my children said only to listen later that what I understood wasn't what he really meant. One of the fastest ways to close a person's heart spirit is to accuse him or her of something that he or she doesn't really mean. It says, I found it helpful to ask questions to clarify what the other person has said. I repeat it in different words, what I think they mean. Then I ask them, is that what you're saying? If they say, well, Dad, that's close, but that's not quite it, I say, well, we have plenty of time. Just what do you mean by that? Then they will repeat what they're trying to tell me. So he was talking about one of his children, Greg. Greg is a resident comedian, but one time I thought he took it too far when I found Michael at age 3 lying on the bottom of a motel swimming pool. After rescuing Mike, I rushed into our room so a local doctor could check him. Greg was chasing us when he yelled, Dad, wait, I can't keep up, he's okay, I'm sure. And he started to laugh. I stopped, snapped my head around and scolded him, pointing for him to stay with Mom. What does he know about the seriousness of this situation? I muttered as I continued running. Later, Greg tried to tell me he wanted to help, and in his nervousness, he began to laugh without really knowing why. Another key factor in being a good listener is not to overreact or take immediate action. Moms and dads, do not overreact. Don't take immediate action. Hold on. Okay, KG, this is the book. The title of the book is The Key to Your Child's Heart. The Key to Your Child's Heart. Okay, by Gary Smalley. Gary Smalley has written so many amazing books. It's amazing. So much to learn from him. So, another key factor in being a good listener is not to overreact or take immediate action. One day I almost ran to Carrie, that's his daughter's school, after hearing what one of her teachers had said about her in class. I was extremely upset that a professional teacher would say what he said to her. Carrie immediately started crying and pleaded with me not to confront the teacher. When I saw her fear, I calmed down and reassured her that I would not go to the teacher without her permission. My assurance gave her the added freedom to share the rest of what he had said. Later, after we had both had time to think, I asked Carrie for permission to see the teacher, and she granted it. Norma, his wife, and I confronted him, repeating what Carrie had said he shared in class about her. The teacher confessed it, apologized to us, and asked if he could see Carrie immediately. We took him to her, and in tears, he put his arms around her and sought her forgiveness. It was a special moment for all of us. Because I had not acted impulsively, but instead asked for permission first, Carrie had continued to be open in sharing with us what happens with her life at school. So I'm just going to read the other things here. It says, in order to be a good listener, it's important you do not ridicule what our children say. We may not understand what they're saying, but being critical or ridiculing a child lowers his or her sense of worth and can cut off meaningful conversations. Now listen to this last three. Dr. H. Norman Wright in the book says The Family That Listens says parents must be careful not to stereotype their children. So if you feel your child is always dramatic, always acting up, listen. Don't stereotype that child and feel, this child is always dramatic, please free me. No. Be careful. And then people tend to listen 5 times as fast as another person is speaking. So if your child is talking at 100 words per minute and you can listen at 500 words per minute, what happens? You become bored and you're like, oh, this child is boring me, and you're trying to finish up the conversation for them. Don't do that. Then we need to listen with our entire body, not just our eyes and our ears. You cannot listen effectively as you're walking away from somebody. Listen by turning to the person, leaning forward towards them, and letting them know that they are valued and they are important. Now, this is very important to me. That's why I read that aspect of this to you. Please, if you can get this book, The Key to Your Child's Heart, it's an amazing book by Dr. Gary Smalley. All right. So I've gone through that to say, moms and dads, many times we want to communicate to our children. We want to tell them, we want to pass values across to them. But because we ourselves are modeling, not listening to them, they don't understand why they should also listen to us. I want to encourage you. Speak to your child. Speak your child's language. I don't know if you're like me, but one of the times that dad would talk to us would be in the morning during morning prayer, or in the middle of the night when you're sleeping, then he wakes you up, boom, boom, come, and then talks to you. Find the right time to talk to your child. Find the right time to communicate what you want to say. It's not about you will listen to me now. It's not the words. It's not just the words that you're speaking. It's that you want to be sure that that child understands exactly what you are saying. So remember, when you're speaking to a person and they're like, I'm listening, but you're doing something else, in their mind, they think they're not important, especially children. And in their minds, they think they're not, mommy doesn't have time. That's not what you want. You, mom, dad, uncle, brother, granny, you want to create an environment where your child knows, feels, and believes that they are important to you no matter what. It is only when we try a little thing that we listen to what they're saying. Have you ever heard your child say, Mommy, you're not listening? If they say you're not listening, stop and ask. So one of the skills that we learn in counseling, I'm a trained lay counselor, is you reflect back. In conversations, let me tell you, when people want to feel safe, you've heard that thing, nobody cares what you know until they know how much you care about that. It's a fact. I'm letting out secrets of counselors. Let me tell you, one of the things that we're taught to do as counselors is to create a safe space by allowing you to relax and just be. When you let your child know that nothing is too big, nothing is too small, you're willing to hear, listen, they, they then talk. Many children test their parents. They test you with something, you pass it, they promote you. Oh, you're not the only one that is going through testing. Oh, you're not the only one who is testing them. You are being tested. So when your child knows that he or she is safe and what they want to tell you, you can be confidential. Believe me, you begin to have equity with them. You begin to create a trust bank with your child. So, today, I want you to take out time. Whether it's deliberate or your child wants to tell you something, just stop. Lean towards them and say, okay, you are saying, and I was teaching you about reflecting. You reflect back to your child. You say something like, oh, so Didi, is this what you meant? So you said that person slapped you, or that person said you were and you were angry. Say back what you think you heard. Then you give an opportunity for them to clarify or to elaborate. Or to say, no, that's not what I meant. Many of us, when we're listening, we already assume this is what you want to say. I know you. Don't always judge. Don't be quick to say, this is what this child wants to say. So I want to encourage you. Reflect back when a person is speaking to you. Create a safe space. When you stop everything, a person feels heard. It's such a beautiful feeling. And I've used that in many different situations in my life. And it's so heartwarming when you find people who actually are interested in what you have to say. So I want to encourage you, moms and dads. If you drop everything you're doing and you create that space, even if it's focused attention of 10 minutes, you would have filled your child's love tank to the point where that child now knows, I am important. I am loved. For those who have little children, eye level is a beautiful thing. So when you stand towering above them, it's almost like top down. If you go down to their level, I promise you, a child sees you. You know eye level, eye contact? So when you're looking at somebody eye to eye, you drop everything, you are listening. You are actually affirming them with your body, with your body language, with your smile or your look or your tears. Or, when you're really following the person, they come back to you. So moms and dads, you are that counselor that child needs. You are that person that the child wants. That child wants to know that they're important. So reflect back. Listen with your being. And always leave the door open. Don't assume. Don't stereotype your child. Don't say, I know what you want to say. Don't be too sure. All right. So that's it from me on this episode. Let me tell you. The Bible says whatever you sow, you will reap. It's a fact. In relationships, if you cultivate the habit of actively listening, don't listen to want to answer. Listen to make the person feel heard and understood. Oh, what a gift that thing is. When people just feel heard, I'm telling you, it works. I work with very old people, 90-something-year-olds, and I work with really young people, 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Everybody wants to feel loved and heard. So listen more and speak less. Listen with your eyes. Lean towards them. Let your child, your husband, your wife, your colleague, your superior, whoever it is your relationship with, let them know that what they're saying actually means something to you. That's it from me. Enjoy. Please work it out. Tell me how it went, okay? I'll be looking forward to hearing from you how it went, how You started listening. You stop. You switch off the TV. You don't go on WhatsApp. You're not on WhatsApp when this child is telling you something. So you don't miss the important things. Remember, families are to be enjoyed and not endured. You are work in progress. I'm work in progress. The journey of life is not easy, but with God on our side, we can do this. And that's why God has skilled and blessed each of us in different ways to make this world a better place. Please keep investing in your family life. It's worth it. At the end of the day, families first, families matter. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing with friends and family. And I'm going to see you next week. I will. Enjoy the rest of your week and be blessed. Love you. Goodbye. Take care of yourself.